Mannequin in today. I've got it prepped out. Got a wire brush I use to just follow along the form. You want to give the paste something to stick to, so you're just making little grooves, small cuts in the form. I've already got this one done. Just pay attention to all your little detail areas, under the neck, under the chin, all these areas right here. It's critical that you get the paste to stick in these areas, because if hide comes loose, it's going to bubble up and it's not going to look right. So pay good attention to these areas. Sand them down real good. We'll go ahead and we'll get started. Got a couple things that I've got the head on here. I've got the skull mounted. I've got my critter clay already molded around. I've got Elmer's glue over the top of the clay to keep it from drying so fast. It'll allow me some time to get everything worked in. If it dries too fast, it'll start cracking. They have like a paper mache that you can use. Next time I do a mount, I'm going to order some of that to fill in for my skull cavity. But we're going to get started on the eyes. I've got the light color eye. These are the Joe Meter eye. They're really neat looking. They look real. Looks like the deer is looking right at you. One thing about the pupil on the deer, I've got goats out back, and anytime I'm out back messing with the goats, I've noticed how their eyes are. This part of the pupil is always going to stay level with the floor. It doesn't matter if the deer is looking straight up in the air. This pupil stays. It just rotates back and forth. Basically, the back side of the eye is going to be a little bit bigger in the back, and it'll come to more of a point here. That way they're able to see kind of behind them in this area. I'm going to get some critter clay. I'm going to start putting the eyes in. It's very important that you keep those eyes level. So you're going to take a piece like this. I've got the eyes, used a Phillips head screwdriver to make impressions inside the eye to keep it from make sure the clay gets down inside of this. Push in. That way it's like an anchor. Alright. Little small piece like this. We're going to go in the back side of the eye. You can see a little groove in the back cut in there. That's going to go in there, and just press pretty hard. You should have a little bit of excess hanging out of the back side. Alright, remember when you got your biggest part of the eye going in the back. You get both of these eyes filled with some clay. I'm going to put some inside the eye cavity itself as well. I like this clay. It's really easy to use. So I'm going to just take a little piece like so. I'm going to press it, making it go inside the little indentions I made with the Phillips head screwdriver. Alright, now this deer, he's more or less standing straight up, so cornered eye here and here. That's what we're aiming for. So we're just gonna press in, combining both parts of the clay together. Don't worry about stuff getting on the glass eye. It comes off pretty easy. A little bit of water and a little brush, you can clean that up. Alright, now let's take a step back and look at it. Make sure you got that pupil level with the floor. Alright, we got that one set. I went with the light color eye because this deer was kind of light, so I went with the lighter color eye. We'll see how that works out. I will go to the other side and do the same thing. Take a little piece of clay and roll it up, pressing it into your indentions. You want to fill that whole eye cavity up. Okay. Now, fattest part of the back end of the eye, and you can see how this eye roll up, come to a point. You want that right in the crease where the lacrimal gland is. Press it in really good, getting both of your clays to mold together. Alright, now I'm just going to use my pencil to gauge and just look. You can see I'm a little low on this side, floor level there. So I'm going to take and roll the eye back up just a tad. Okay. Alright. A little bit of water on my finger. Just come around the eye. Shape that in there. Trapping that eye in there. Alright, we're going to start adding the tissue around the eye. You don't want to see any of this white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little noodle like so. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to come across the bottom half right here at the edge of the lacrimal gland. And then I'm going to come around the bottom of the eye. Okay, right back to where the corner of that eye is. All I'm going to do is work the clay into the mold. Okay, now we're going to start with our top half. Go with about the same size piece, just a little bigger, a little fatter on this one. You're going to make that top brow, come right in, right beside the lacrimal gland and the crease is going to come over. Once I get all this in here, I'll shape it with a little tool that I have. Try to get it as close as you can. Some shaping tools out. I got this stuff from Hobby Lobby, and these are rubber ends. They're not harmful to the glass eye. So what we're going to do is lower this brow. We'll lower it down, and we'll work with it throughout the time we're getting the cake prepared to go on the mold. Said you don't want to see any of that white. Just roll that eye back into their pupil there. So you can see that the eye is still wide open, so I'm gonna just lower the brow a little bit. Come back and shape it, clean it up a little bit. Just remember, you want to try to replace flesh in your real fleshy areas of the head, because we did take a little bit away. Not a whole lot, but we did take some away. Clean that lacrimal gland out. We're going to get our groove set before we're tucking the skin. Still trying to work this eye right before I add the other piece. Keeping that lacrimal gland open so we can tuck the skin. Take a little bit of that away. Taking my time on this eye. Normally I'm already done and on the other side, but I'm going to take my time. Okay, we're going to come back with another small piece over the eye. And then we're going to finish working the eye. I don't want the deer to look like he's in the headlight, so we're going to lower that. Lower that brow down some. Let's turn him over a little bit and work from the bottom side so you can see what's going on. Going up inside of the mannequin, you want to go straight up for the top lip. We're just going to follow it around. Just getting it started. Make sure you go in a 1/4 inch because we're going to leave a 1/4 inch of skin on the hide. It's working out great. You don't want too big of a gap, but you don't want too small of a gap. Your skin is not real thick in this area, but it's thick enough that you need a decent gap. You need to be able to see in there like that. Just continue on around. Work it in there. When you get in that corner, work it back because you're probably going to have a little extra skin right in there. Alright, now we'll flip him back up. Need to roll him back a little bit so I can do this top, do the bottom job. On the tip end of this thing, it's got a little bevel, so it actually helps me get back down a little bit. I'm not necessarily going in straight, but I'm keeping that bevel to where I can make it tuck in and get that bottom lip where it's defined right in here. You want to see that lip right in here. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Go along with your knife and make sure it's clear. You don't want to have to come back and do this when you start setting your cape. Alright. Got our Lac-A-Mole gland finished. The lips are looking good, so now we'll get started on the nose pad. I'm going to take my critter clay and I'm going to start widening this pad out. Start right here across the bridge of the nose. Take me a piece and flatten it out. come right here, work it down to the edge of the nose. I'm going to take that off, come back, and I'm going to put it here. Get right down to the front of the nose here. And I'm just going to work it in, following every little crease around, not adding anything inside of here really. It's just mostly on the outside. You want that skin to lay in there perfect. So we're just going to work this pad around until we get it the way we want. The critter clay is soft, so once you get your hide in place, you can work your nose to perfection. So we won't worry about any of that until we get the hide on. We're going to go around the bottom half the same way. We're going to add some more to the top. We want a good nose pad. And here we're basically going to roll this a piece out. Come right around, back to the front. And take it back to the back of the nose. We'll take and work it back into the mannequin. Roll us another piece out for this side. We'll come back and work it all in a second. We want to replace that tissue that's behind that pad that I took off during the fleshing. Go ahead and finish up the bottom. Bring it in and working it back into the mannequin. Alright, now what I'm going to do is take my water, some water on your finger, and work it back. You want just to fan out, work right back into the mannequin. You don't want to see any lumps under the skin. So we're going to use our thumb and flatten it out right through here. Just building that pad up. Watch where your fingers will go when you mess your other work up too. Had to test my clay out, make sure it ain't drying, I guess. Alright, push back up in there and get that flare. Get the nose flare right. On this side, do the same thing. You want the definition of that nose to stay correct. You just Finger push it in there, and then we'll come back with the tool and shape it up a little better. Alright, got a little meat on him now. Alright. Get my brush. I'll come in here and clean the nostril up a little. Smooth it out. Any high spots that I feel when I got the cape on, I can push the critter clay back in place to where I need it. So by using the Elmer's glue, it will slow the drying process down. Let that water soak up just a second, and alright, now decide how I want to put my ears. You see where the shape of your ear, bottom half. I'm going to try to put somewhere here. This is about where we're going to put them. I'll fill the ear cavity up with critter clay, and I won't put these in until I start putting the cape on. We still got a lot of clay work to do around the head to build up the muscle tissue around the ears. Something like that. Keep your eyes cleaned up. You don't want any of that to dry up too bad. Alright. Now, take a small piece right here around the crease. There's a lot of tissue around this area of the lip. So what I'm going to do, roll out me another piece, and I'm going to follow that muscle right there, but I'm going to bring it back, creating the crease of the lip like that. And I'm just going to work it back into the mannequin. See how that lip, I'll work it back in. Gives me a little more play to where I can shape it. I'm just going to come under and bring it out to nothing. Now you can see the crease of the mouth. Get a good tuck in that bottom lip. You'll have your upper lip over the top. That's a good shape right there. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Roll out about the same size piece. Same thing, just going to follow the lip, Come around, you want to go back to the crease, make sure the crease of your clay you're adding is at the crease of the lip. We're going to work that back. Now, see the crease of the lip, shape it up a little more, wet your finger. Clay works a lot better with a little water on your finger, and shaping and smoothing. Alright, now we got that crease on this side. All these little areas, guys, make sure you put in the right amount of work in these areas, because it's really going to show on your mount when you get done. Alright, we're almost ready to start putting the cape on. You got to get the ears turned first. Alright, let's get the old Amherst glue out. And get this area protected from the air drying it too fast. Now the hide paste is similar, but a little more coarse. I'll show you that stuff here in just a little while when we get started on the cape, putting the hide on the mannequin. All right. Alright guys, we'll come back and we'll start working in the cape. I gotta get the ears out and flesh a little around the eyes of the cape, and then we can start setting our cape on the mannequin. We'll be right back. Alright guys, I got my eyes set. Got the clay pretty much shaped the way I want it for now. I'm going to go over the clay with some glue. So this glue is to keep the clay from drying so fast. I'm going to have time to get the cape over. And if I have to manipulate the skin a little bit, I can still push the clay or work it, as long as I don't let the clay dry up on me. I tried it without this glue, and the eye actually popped out the next morning. I could pull the eye back out of the mold. So you don't want that to happen. Alright, let's see. Alright, we're going to start with the nose area. I'm going to go ahead and try to start carving into the nose and getting the and we'll install a septum I've got cut out right here. This is a piece of milk jug. It's actually got the grooves. I don't know if you can see it right there, but it's got the rough pattern. It's just the way the septum is. So I've actually got it colored. I'm going to fold it over. Crease it right here on the end. Alright, what we're going to do, I need to take and cut down through here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and carve the inside of the nose out. And I want it to be hollow so I can see through both sides. That's the way I was taught to do it, so there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and start. I got a little, this is a fingernail tool. I just got this at my local store, dollar store. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pointy end and I'm going to press straight in. This is where I'm going to tuck the skin for the Lacrimal gland. Go in about an 1/8 to an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Alright, we're going to start working on the nose. We want to take that inside section right there. You just want to cut away first. Try to find your lines to cut back through. You don't want to start off too hard and just take and work it around. Just clean it out good. You don't want to leave it all pitted up. Kind of smooth it out. I'm just going to make that little crease right there so I can get the skin pushed in there. That will hold the skin good. You see where I got it pushed in there some. That'll help hold that skin in there. You want that white part of the nose to come around flat. That really shows. So I'm just going to go in and clean it out. Dig kind of towards the back. I'm going to roll it around. We'll go to the other side. Turn him over a little bit. Doing the same thing, we start right in this corner of the nostril. And just dig back. And as you get it out, you can see, start seeing light through the other side, and just slowly pull some of that out of there. I think that seeing through the nose is a lot better than not. If you're gonna have it close up where people can see it, you want to try to make it as realistic as possible. Keep in mind, this is only my third mount, so as I go, I'm just refining the way I do it as well. This just give you guys that's trying to start an idea how to get started. Alright, now let me see through there. You can see my finger right through there. You want to be able to see that. Just clean it out. Go ahead and get it clean now, guys, because after you get your hide on and your paste and everything set in your hide, you don't want to come back and dig any of this out and mess up your paste. You want everything to seat perfectly. Alright, one thing we got to do is come in here and make that little divot right in there, help tuck that skin. Alright, what we're going to do is install the septum now. We're going to come right down the center here. It's going to go back into here. This is where we're going to stop with it. So we're going to go center the nose. Just draw us a reference line. All right. Get my razor knife. I'll go ahead and score it with my pocket knife. That outer layer of this form is kind of hard, but once you get through it, alright. Just going to push down, go a little bit at a time. Lose my blade first. Alright, try it again. We're gonna just work our way down. I can see my blade through the nose area, so I'm just gonna work my way down. Right down to the lower lip. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna go back up and work it back the other direction. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to take my septum and push through the mold. I'm going to make sure I've got it creased. Make sure you got that crease tight as you can. Alright, now just going to take a slip it in there, but we may have to cut it out just a little more. You don't want to cut out too much. Should be plenty once I get this little piece out. Almost got it. There it is. Now, just take this and slide it back in there. Push it in there as far as you can. Okay. All we're going to do is just bump it with the hand and make sure it's back in there tight. I can see it's all the way into the cavity, the nose cavity. It's all the way down on this side. I'm going to take my razor knife, just come right along the nose. Trim that off. Okay. Now, with the flashlight, I can shine right through here. You can see me doing this through there. That's what you want to see. people look at it up close, they're going to want to see detail. But I'm still working at it, guys. I'm learning as I go. Okay. Now, like I said earlier in the videos about replacing your tissue, the nose has a real fleshy pad underneath that skin. So what we're going to do is I'm going to build out this nose a little bit with the clay. And first we're going to get the lips where we can get those tucked. I'm going to take my tool. I'm going to start right here at the corner of the mouth. And you want to push up. Go along slow, guys. We don't take just a second to make a mistake with this. Just follow how the lip is all the way around. We'll do the bottom lip the same way. Take my razor knife. Alright guys, I'm going to start turning the ears. We'll go do a little bit more fleshing. We almost got the cape ready. I'm just going to work around the ear until we can get the ear in our hand here. Once I do that, then I can work it back. But I find this part is one of my most difficult parts to do in mounting, is getting the ear to roll back without tearing it. So good luck with the ears, guys. It is a chore. But you can do it, no problem. Just keep going slow and working around. You start seeing your skin there. You want to kind of lighten up on your cuts. We'll keep working this back. Use your thumb to push your thumbs right in the crease there. And you just start and just keep working it down. You don't want to leave that cartilage inside of the ear. After a while, that cartilage will turn loose and skin will turn loose from the cartilage, and it looks like a bubble. Looks like your hide has a big bubble, and you can tell it's separated. So we'll remove this. I'm hoping this gets a little easier for me as I go, because like I say, it is a difficult thing to try to do. It's starting to get the cartilage to come out. The skin on the inside of the ear is super thin. I think this is what takes me the most time, is just the ear. You can see how it'll just roll back. I got it laying on my bench where I can pull to me, and the bench is actually helping me keep it tight enough to where I can work it right along the edge of the skin. You see there's not much flesh left on the hide. Okay. We want to cut this back pretty deep in the ear. You don't want to cut way out here. If you cut way out in that section there, it's really gonna show on your mount. So I'm gonna cut back a little bit farther in there than I normally do. Just keep working it down. Alright, I'm getting kind of close to where I want to cut it. I'm going to cut it somewhere right back in here and work it all the way around. You can see it on this side where it ends. Cartilage is right there. So I'm going to cut a little bit more. Because all of this is going to have to come out anyway. Alright, now go back in. I'm going to check with my finger to see where I need to cut. I'm going to leave more of the inner ear than I normally do. So I'm going to work it back on my bench. I'm going to start coming back this way through the cartilage. Okay. Now, I'm try to work the top side on down, and then come back and work the bottom side. Start folding it out. Now I can cut right along the tissue there, right along the ear. Cut down towards the cartilage. Take your thumb and work it. It's slow go, guys, but it's got to be done. Probably got 3/4 of the way. See how much farther I have got to go. About right here. With these cuts in the end of his ear, I'm kind of worried about getting too far into that because that may tear. Looks like you've been running through briars in the woods and cut these tips. So we're going to have to be careful in that area. Once I get the cartilage out, then I'll use a little bit of that dry preserve. I got the ear coming out pretty fast now. It's going right out there. Perfect, perfect. And be careful once you get out to the very ends of the ear, because you will blow it out right through there. Alright, get a little closer to the little cuts I was showing you on his ear, right down to the tip now. I'm going to be careful as I work that out. I'm right at it. Almost got it turned inside out. A little bit more. You can take your finger and put inside and bring it down a little at a time. Not perfect. I'm right at the very tip where those little cuts are. Now what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to work through this cartilage and get me a starting point where I can start pulling it back. Okay, I got through it there. So I'm going to start working the cartilage off. You can see through that. That is so thin, guys. So thin. I'm going to work that back as easy as possible. I don't want to go through my ear. Don't try to tear a big piece off at one time. Keep your thumb right in there close to where you're taking it apart from. And go slow. Working it all the way back. This work is going back nicely. Wish we could leave it in there, but it's got to go. It would be much easier. So there it is. That's the cartilage for the ear. Real thin. Keep working it back. Do not want to cut too close to that edge and rip the crease of the ear. It's not too hard of a repair to do, but I'm trying to save myself from any repairs. I've got a couple pellet where the pellets hit him. I got those repairs to make. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Alright, come back up here as close to the tip as you can. It's real thin towards the tip. And just start working it down the same way we did the other side. The cartilage gets a little thicker when you get back towards the ear. All I'm doing is creating a little spot that I can get my fingernail under the cartilage and start peeling it back.